Hello and welcome to Laguna Seca. This is Daily Race C, and they were a lot of fun, these races. They were a bit dangerous, your DR could drop off, but overall I had fun, didn't lose too much DR. It was a bit like Brands Hatch last week. I enjoyed the races, but quite often ended up going backwards. So here we are. I'm in the John 316 livery, or the JSR 52 livery, depending on whether you're looking at the bonnet or the side. I was quite slow at the start of these races, clip a curb there and have to give up a place. Cold tyres, struggled a bit early on. I get accused in the chat afterwards of being a master blocker. We'll come on to that shortly. I was still in with the pack here, waiting for mistakes. One comes there. Unfortunately, I don't get to the right enough as I get around this corner, and Trinity slips up the inside. Now, it kind of funnels you into each other up here, and with that tiny bit of contact, I ended up holding my position. Slightly different this time. We get funneled in. I think you're a bit hopeful if you're making this move. And he sort of eases me. I barely stay on the track, and he does get a 3-second penalty. It's got to be really clear and obvious if you get past at the corkscrew. There's not a lot of room. This was the chasing car when that happened. You can see how much time we lose with a move like this. And there's a tiny bit of contact with him from me as I go around the corner, but I have left him more than a car's width there. This is the fella who said afterwards that I was a master blocker. I don't really know whether it was a compliment or not, or whether it was irritation. I wouldn't say I was a master blocker. I would say that there's a difference between blocking and running good defensive lines. I think I ran pretty good defensive lines here. I've taken the inside. He's got more than the car's width on the outside. I hit both my apexes. Here we're coming back up to the corkscrew. Take an inside line again, leaving a bit of space on the outside. Wisely, he doesn't go for it. I go a bit deep, and there's nothing intentional about that. If I go any more to the right, leave him any more space, I go off the track. And if you go off the track, you get a penalty. So I've got to stay on track. Just a little bit of unlucky contact. Now we're going to see a few attempts by this Nissan into the first corner. And I think this is where he got a little bit upset. One of them is a little bit close to the mark. I think it's this one here. So I leave space on the inside because I want to take the line. I take the line and I just clip his nose there. Now, if he's going to get past there, I've got to leave him a massive gap to go through. Now, here he's not putting me under pressure, but you'll see I take the same line. So it wasn't a chop or a block. It was just the natural line, and really he's asking me to help him out if I let him through there. Here I defend the line, hit my apexes, and there just isn't really any way through there. Again, we get funneled into this, and I take the defensive line on the left. And then we start making some overtakes towards the end of the race. These parked cars, I couldn't really understand at the time, but I think they're just coming back on track, having had an incident and maybe forgetting to put traction control on. Just ahead you can see a battle forming. So I'm in 12th there, but we've got a battle which takes us all the way up to 7th position. Now I'm thinking, chasing here, just get a decent line through this corner and you're going to make places. But what? I appear to have taken an erratic and wild turn to the right. What was I doing there? Well, if we follow this Mercedes, he gets punted off. He's desperate to get back on track. He loses the tail. And when he loses the tail, he unfortunately just clips the back of my Porsche. Now, I pretty much got this corner right. I'm going through apexing in about 40. They were all apexing in about 20, high 20s. And that pretty much finished me there. A sniff of 7th place from 14th. And then it's all over. It worked out nicely for GTR UK. I give up another place later on. He just does those corners better than I do. I leave him plenty of space. And now we're on to the last lap. I lose another spot here. This guy gets a good run. I leave him a car's width and he comes around the outside. Fair cop, good move. But there is just a little bit more action to go ahead. Another attempt by lots of people to do the last turn all at the same time, which doesn't end well for them. And I very gratefully pick up a couple of places. So there was a chance of 7th from 14th on the grid, but I'll take 12th from 14th, having had a bit of a tough time. 3 into 1 doesn't go. And that was pretty much that. I think you'll see it from one more angle. Jono was the guy who, that's the guy we're on board with here. He was the guy who picked up the penalty, 3-second penalty, squeezing by at the corkscrew. Now, at the end of this video, we go on to the timesheets. You might want to have a look at that because they're pretty interesting. I think 3rd position's quickest lap was a 1:24 dead. And then if you look at 19th place, they also did a 1:24 something. So almost 20 cars with nothing much between them apart from whether you can stay on track, whether you can not bump into people. So there we are, a 1:24 in 4th and a 1:24.7 in 19th. And everything is pretty much the same in there. 24s, 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 23s, 24s. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. The Master Blocker signs out.